Rob, I just got to ask you, how did you come to meet this person who brought this car to you? I mean, how did the...
Well, I've always said that there's lots of different ways post-repair inspections land up in people's hands that do these post-repair inspections.
Yeah.
This car actually came in because it was hit on the other side. The good news for the shop that fixed this is that it was hit on the other side in the same spot.
Wow.
Because if it had taken that same hit on this spot, it may not have responded the same.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Airing of Grievances. My name is Eric Reamer. That's Robert Grieve. And, of course, we're thankful that you've taken time out of your day to join us for ours. If it's Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m., and this is the premiere of this video, we're sitting there chatting with you if you are chatting with us. And
Loving every minute of it.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. And if you're watching throughout the rest of the week, the only thing that we ask is if you would give the thumbs up. That gives YouTube a cue that says, hey, we should share this with more people. And boy, howdy, I'll tell you what, 600 plus views of last week's video. We're so thankful. And it only happens because people click that thumbs up and they subscribe. And they leave comments.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's really the...
Great comments, too. Some spectacular stuff. And, and even, you know, we got people voicing in that used to be adjusters saying, yep.
Yeah, you know, we're not here with any agenda except to share with you the safety-related and quality-related issues that can arise. And this episode will be no different. That happens in the collision industry. And you know, you remember the I think it was NBC that came up with the What You Know, the more you know.
The more you know,
right? It's one of those for us. The more you know about what happens behind the scenes and the players at work behind the scenes, the more educated you are, and probably the safer you will be and the more value your car will have coming out of a collision repair. So
yes, well said.
That's what we're after. Happy Saturday to you.
My dear friend. Happy Saturday to you, my dear friends. So excited to have you here, tuning in, watching the video with us. It means a lot.
Yes,
it means
indeed.
a lot.
All right, what are we talking about today, Rob?
Well, I'm an old guy, so, you know.
Insert joke here, because I've got 3 or 4 rolling through my head.
So I like Neil Young.
Who?
Yeah.
I'm almost as old as you are. I know who Neil Young is.
His one of his favorite sayings is "Rust never sleeps." I believe it's the name of one of his albums.
Really? Rust never sleeps.
Rust never sleeps, which is true. So we've talked in many episodes about bare welds and welds that aren't dressed properly. And there is a procedure for doing it correctly, and there are specific materials that need to be used and processes to make sure these welds hold up.
Sure.
And why is it so important that they hold up? If welds start deteriorating, that's what holds your car together.
Right.
And if they, let's just say they only deteriorate 50%. Well, that's 50% less protection you have should you have another accident in that area.
Yes.
The thing can fall to pieces. So we have a 2020 Subaru that we're going to be looking at that was fixed in 2020 with only 9,000 miles on it.
Okay.
So it was brand new when it was fixed. And this thing went through some major surgery. So let's just bring up the car.
There it is.
There's the car. This repair was, I want to say, $20-something thousand. $20,797.
Okay.
$20,000 in 2020.
Yeah.
to put a frame rail on the passenger side, a wheelhouse, all the inner structure, and an A-pillar. A-pillar is what your windshield gets glued into and what your front door bolts to.
Got it.
So while the repair looks pretty good, we needed to get a little deeper into it, and you guys know how that story goes if you've watched any of the other videos.
And you should.
But this one's a little different because a lot of the repair is a good repair without the step of corrosion protection. Now, there were some FUBARs in there, but but if it wasn't...
Hold on for just a second. Janelle, look that up on Google.
Yeah, FUBAR. So we'll take a little closer look at it. And again, overall, nice paint work and looks pretty good. But now we're going to take a little closer look.
Okay.
Here you can see two panels mated here and rust pouring out from behind it.
That's horrible looking.
Yeah. The rust is bad enough. But this should have welds in it. So you see that big open space? It shouldn't even have that big open space. But that big open space allows the water to come through, and because the welds weren't dressed properly, that rust is coming through off the welds that are deteriorating.
Wow.
But let's look at the other side. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Oh.
And you see the two spot welds there,
Yeah.
and how it's nice and flush, and there's no rust coming through.
I see that, yeah.
So keep moving on. There's another shot of where it attaches,
Oh, my goodness.
and it's just oozing.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
It's just oozing rust. Welds are decent welds. Not dressed properly and not with corrosion protection that needed to take place after it was all done. Otherwise, that wouldn't be happening. If you can shut off all the oxygen to it
Yep.
by using corrosion protection, which in this case we would have used cavity wax or something, that would have just shut off all the oxygen to these welds, and there wouldn't be an issue.
Wow.
This is the frame rail where it meets the wheelhouse, and even from here you can see some rust popping up, but
Sure.
let's get a little closer in,
Oh, yeah.
and there it is. You can't fix that rust. If this were to be repaired, you would have to take the frame rail off the car and start over. Replacing that wheelhouse, replacing the frame rail
Again.
and putting the proper corrosion protection in place. This is a shot underneath the car of bare welds. You can see where they ground them,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they welded them, but they didn't prime them with the correct primer. They didn't sand them down, and they didn't paint them, because you can't just prime them either. You have to paint them.
Yeah, it's exposed metal
And
in
there
a place
it is.
where water is everywhere.
And it's rusting.
Yeah.
This is from the outside of it, and the paint's already bubbling off those because they weren't primed properly.
Yep.
It is my guess. I mean, there's no other reason for paint to be flaking off and rust to be showing up, other than it wasn't treated properly after it was welded, but before it was painted.
Got it.
This piece is where 4 pieces of metal get welded together.
Yep.
If we take a closer look at it, the weld didn't penetrate. That is just flapping in the breeze.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you can just take your finger and pull it back. And that's where, and you can actually see all the layers right there.
Sure.
That's supposed to be welded all the way through all those layers.
Wow.
And there wasn't enough penetration, and that could be there's not enough electricity in the building to fire a welder, or the welder may not be sufficient to put the pressure on there and to weld all the way through. regardless of all that, obviously, it's not going to hold anything.
And the technician should know that.
That's not hard to see.
Right?
The painter should have known that.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody.
A painter would give you a second opinion on the quality of the repair.
Yeah. Things get double checked all the way through the process. They're supposed to be.
Should be. Yeah.
Should be. If you're working in the right culture and everybody's taking care of each other, and by doing that, taking care of you, the guest.
Right.
That's not the case in this particular case. This is on the other side of the area I just showed you. Again, all welds. Now, they're not going to rust as fast as the ones on the outside because these are on the inside of the car.
Right.
But they are going to rust just from oxygen. Now, in Colorado, it's not as bad as if you were in New Jersey, where I'm from. They would already be.
Yeah.
I mean, look what it did to me, for heaven's sake.
You're crusty, not rusty.
Yeah. And so when they put that A-pillar in, they cut the inner high-strength steel reinforcements.
Oh, no.
And you can see that cut right there. That's not supposed to be there.
That compromises the metal, right?
It does. If there was supposed to be a cut there, there'd be a cut there.
Yeah.
There isn't. So, again, that's a fail. Same thing on the bottom of the rocker.
Oh, yeah.
They cut it there too. And this is all taking strength away from the car. Keep in mind, this car was a 2020, repaired in 2020.
Yep.
And it's a Colorado car, so it's not getting subjected to, the weather and stuff that
Not
you
a
would
huge
find on the
humidity.
East Coast,
Yeah.
especially with being close to an ocean and salt and all the rest of that.
Right.
But even so, it's still rusting heavily.
Sure.
Again, this vehicle was fixed by one of those places you're going to find on the list of your insurance preferred shops.
Yep.
And to me, it's all about money. It's not about people's safety. It's about money. And we've done another video on how people in the body shop industry get paid.
Yep.
It's called, flat rate, piecework, commission, however you want to say it. But these types of things are a product of that.
Yeah.
Because you want to rush the car through that you're working on so you can get to the next car and make money on that.
Right.
We call it flagging hours. We want to flag hours on this one, flag hours on that one, and then at the end of the week, get paid on all those flagged hours times our rate.
Gotcha.
But also you have the insurer pushing down on those very places to get it done quickly to avoid rental expense.
Yep.
And so, and why are they doing it? Not to get it done quickly for you, but to save themselves money.
Right.
And so this is a whole money thing.
Yep.
Our people are not paid like that here. Everybody is paid hourly or salary, and they're here to work together to, and there's lots of shops like that. Your top tier shops, I should say,
Yeah.
are moving in that direction if they're not there already. But when you work as one gigantic team, it is so much better for the consumer.
Sure.
And that's what I have for us today. I just wanted to show, here's a test of, I'm saying that welds rust if you don't, properly do what the manufacturer says to do. There's a process that has to be gone through. If you're getting your car repaired, ask for a copy of the process.
Yeah.
Because it's readily available. Wear cavity wax and different types of epoxy primers.
Right.
Toyota and Lexus are big on epoxy primers. All sorts of different stuff because they have to maintain the corrosion protection.
Sure.
And when we're re-welding, our what we do here on the outside of the factory is different than the way the factory does it.
Yeah.
And they have lots of processes that make it the way they need it. But when we do it, the processes are different. I mean, we're putting in a section of a panel instead of a whole panel, and you got robots programmed, and if a robot fails,
Right.
everybody's alerted. Lights and bells and everything goes off. Not so much in the shop area. You really need to do your homework. I always say that list of people that the insurance company gives you to go to is a list of people to take off your list.
Yep.
Because their agendas are different.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I have for this Saturday.
Well,
I hope everybody finds it helpful, and you can, ask for help.
Yeah.
Ask for help. Ask for somebody to take another look at it. This is behind the scenes. You would never see any of this stuff if we hadn't taken the car apart. And so,
Yeah.
buyer beware.
It's good information. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you. My dear friends, thanks for tuning in. Love you dearly. Hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Saturday. God bless.